Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
The today and tomorrow we'll do a little bit of Florida State, but we're not fully into a Florida State practice. I'd say Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think probably when you break down like preparation. For me, I look at like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in season, and we'll do that twice. So we've got plenty of time. So I would say probably Thursday, Friday this week we'll begin to really focus on Florida State.
Hey, Coach, when you talked about the running backs, you said the experience will rise to the top, or typically kind of
Typically. I could be wrong. I've been wrong, as you guys know, many, many times.
Well, is Caleb Jackson maybe kind of changing that thinking and kind
of? He had a good day, but you've seen this many, many times, and I have as well. We tend to overreact to these kinds of situations. Was that a product of bad tackling, or was that great running? Right? Maybe it's a little bit of both. Now, let's not take anything away from the kid. He's done a really good job. But there are other facets that he's going to have to continue to work on. We are really excited about his future here, but there's clearly more work to be done.
We also saw Sage Ryan at cornerback during the scrimmage. First of all, has he been able to get back on the practice field? And then just what do y'all like about him maybe at that cornerback spot?
Well, he has elite speed. I mean, he's a guy that can run in the high 21 range. So, he's got the skill, to have the kind of speed to play out there. The second thing, experience, and at that cornerback position, that's the one area that we're calling for experience. And I think the third is he's a pretty smart football player. So he puts himself in a pretty good position. One thing that we really are concerned about is making sure that we tackle the football and having a great tackler out there. Sage has been a really steady tackler for us. So he brings a lot of those traits to that position and gives us flexibility to put a guy that's played a lot of football out there that runs really well and can tackle in a position to help us.
Follow up on him, and I have another question. Sage's injury, is he back on?
He practiced today.
Practiced today? Okay, great.
Yeah, it was, I think, more of a, kind of a stinger, if you will. I don't know the exact.
What did you like in the scrimmage that you saw, and what were some of the things that you're kind of still concerned about?
I thought that. Overall, what we were looking for more than anything else was, who are the guys that need to be developed to be guys to count on, and who are the guys that are not ready to be counted on yet that need more time to develop. And so it was much more in that fashion than it was, I like this or I didn't like that. This was much more about. 53. This was much more about finding out, defensively, who else can we get on the field at the jack position? Is Whit Weeks getting closer to playing? Can Stamps hold up at corner? And all those became positive for us. And so I think we were looking for those kinds of answers. And then on the other side, who needs more work? Who needs to continue to develop? And I think that's kind of, how we looked at the scrimmage.
Hey, Coach, at least last week, Armani Goodwin, Logan Diggs, and Josh Williams were kind of, I'd say, limited in practice. Are they okay to
They practiced today for the first time. So we had a full we had a full complement of running backs out there today.
And real quick, mentally and sort of when it comes to his football IQ, with Harold Perkins, what has he sort of learned or something that he had trouble with last year that he now is, I guess sort of mastered? Like, what are some examples of that actual growth mentally?
Well, quite frankly, we didn't drill down on the nuances of the position. We moved them around to be an edge player for us. Quite frankly, we felt like we wanted to take advantage of his athleticism when we put him in positions to really go get the quarterback. So there was really nothing that he didn't do. He picked up the schemes from week to week. This was really about, learning, pass coverages and gap responsibilities and things that we really didn't spend a lot of time with him. But he's got a great football IQ. He's really, I would say, from a pass coverage, he's got great sense in pass coverage, zone, and obviously man. And understands gap integrity. He's not running around there just, trying to make plays on athleticism. So we've been very pleased with his football IQ.
Coach, Chris Hilton's dealt with a lot of injuries, high school and here. The hope is he's finally poised for maybe a breakout season. What are you seeing out of him in camp so far?
I think he's had a really good camp. I think he's been more consistent. And one of the consistencies is staying on the field, as you mentioned, Jacques. He's been injured, but he's been healthy. He's made every practice. So I think that in itself is huge progress for him.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
So just an update from the game. Nico Lawless wasn't out here today. Groin, kind of day to day. We'll see where he's at. Hopefully he'll be ready to go this weekend. Darrell Williams left practice today with the groin. Kind of the same deal. Hopefully he'll be ready to go this weekend. So really that's kind of the updates from the game. We did waive wide receiver Brian Edwards. So I think our number's at 89 right now.
Dennis, I think Monday and Ryan Conley are guys, and Lynn Bowden are three others we didn't.
So Ryan Conley, knee, I think that's going to be fairly significant.
Could be significant.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be fairly significant. We're still in the evaluation process there, but I think that's one that's going to cause some missed time. And who was the other one you asked about? Smoke's not here on for a personal reason, and Lynn just he went into the game with the groin, and so we're just trying to manage that the best we can.
You said the other night that Jimmy Graham was going to have some tests done. If he has had them done, have they provided in context of?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into all the specifics in terms of what the results are or anything like that. I expect to see Jimmy out here, hopefully tomorrow. But we'll see. But I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to cause him to miss any significant amount of time. I expect him to be out here practicing really quickly.
Is this something he's dealt with before?
Huh?
Has he dealt with this in the past?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into all the specifics. Something he's dealing with now, so hopefully he's out here tomorrow.
Is there any more context though as to what happened Friday and how they found him so far away from the hotel?
Yeah, and look, we're again.
What you are able to.
I think we're just going to kind of stick with the statement that we made as an organization and not get into all the, all the details. I think the important thing is that, Jimmy's going to be okay and hopefully be back out here practicing quickly.
Dennis, do you anticipate come Sunday just taking some reps out there with the second unit and extra speed play Sunday?
Yeah, I think we got to see how he goes in practice this week, and that'll be something that we evaluate. So I'll kind of reserve judgment until we get through a few days of practice, but I think there's certainly a chance you might see him out there.
Yeah, how much does not practicing with Houston change up what you're doing this week, and then also your approach on Sunday?
Yeah, probably changes a little bit in terms of what we're doing, but not too much, not too significant in terms of what we're going to try to get accomplished. We'll be obviously going against each other, so we're seeing a lot of the same looks that we've seen, but we'll get some good work in that way. And I don't know that it's going to change a whole lot in terms of what we do on Sunday. But again, I think we just got to kind of let the week kind of play out a little bit.
Dave, was today a little, just the shortened period, was it like a lighter practice just with the guys coming back from?
Yeah. Kind of planned to be that way. Coming back from a West Coast trip, we didn't get in until about 3:30 in the morning on whatever day that was, Monday I guess it was. So we'll do a little bit to try to get them back, get them a little rest, but yet still get our work done.
This is probably a weird question, but was it full speed? There were a couple plays where it felt like they tailed off at the end of plays.
Yeah, it probably wasn't as spirited a practice as what we maybe have had. I think this is probably the most significant action that guys have gotten. And again, you're coming back from a long trip, not a lot of rest, so hopefully we'll get back out here tomorrow and have good practice.
How'd you feel Lonnie graded out overall?
Yeah, I think Lonnie did a lot of good things. I think Lonnie's done a lot of good things throughout, training camp. And so, it's really about continuing to stack days together, being able to make plays and yet eliminate, negative plays. And so I thought there was a number of things he did, both defensively and in the kicking game, that were productive.
How have you seen the two kickers do in camp and another competing?
I think both of them have done well. I think both of them are competing at a high level. I think we're going to let this continue on through this weekend, and we'll have to make a tough decision when the weekend comes.
Chris, have you spoken to Marcus Murray based on the report today? Obviously it's something you want to put behind him, but again,
Yeah, look, I've spoken to Marcus. I'm not sure exactly what the report is. I don't spend a lot of time, looking at the internet, so I don't really know what the report is. But yeah, I've spoken to Marcus, and we'll let that play out however it does, and be ready to adjust however we may need to.
Dennis, what do you attribute this to? The false starts, whether practice, Thursday, Friday, and even in the game. It seems like we had 10 to a dozen. The reason why I bring it up is even last year, I think we led the NFL in false starts.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably a multitude of things. When you're out here in these preseason games, or you're out here in practice, there's usually a number of different quarterbacks, different offensive line groupings, different receivers, tight ends, all that kind of stuff. And I think as you get more in tune with, kind of the same group out there all the time, I think that becomes a little bit easier to handle. But yet at the same time, we looked at every single penalty from the game. The pre-snap penalties are the ones that can't happen. We got total control over that. That's on us. It's on us as a coaching staff. It's on us as the players. Those are totally unacceptable. Some of the other fouls, some of it, as I told our guys, are kind of the price of doing business at sometimes. Some of it's technique related, but we looked at all 15 fouls in the game and talked about what they're calling, why they're calling it, how we can be better.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Yeah, just making most of my opportunities every time I get a chance to go out on the field. In my position, I'm coming in undrafted, so opportunities don't come as like most of the guys. So it's just going out and performing every time I get a chance to.
Noticed taking some special teams reps. Just how's that been for you? Did you do much of that in college? Just kind of like relatively new for you?
No, I play a little bit of special teams in college. It's just special teams we're going to get guys on the roster. So whatever it's going to take to get me on the roster, I'll do whatever. Special teams is a big step, so I like special teams.
What's been the biggest leap for you from July 20 whatever to to 1 month of camp and 2 preseason games?
Actually knowing what I'm supposed to do, staying in the playbook, because knowledge is power. If you can already know what you're doing, just go out and play fast instead of trying to play and think at the same time. So just me getting a full understanding of the playbook, being more comfortable with that, I could play at fast speed.
Where have you mostly installed? Which receiver position?
In the slot mainly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your history too, or?
Nah, well, my senior year of college, I played both inside and outside, but I was primarily an outside receiver. So I'm kind of familiar with the slot, but I feel like I'm catching on real.
Probably like the matchups.
Yeah.
Do you think you had a touchdown?
Thought I did.
Yeah, I mean that was a. Did you know Jameis was going to come to you? Or,
He told me. He said just run. I said all right. So I came out the break and I looked. The ball was in the air, and like before I ran out, I was like, "There's 4 guys right here." And I looked. I said, "Oh man!" So I tried to go make a play, but I just couldn't come down with it. I'm gonna get some of those this season though, hopefully.
what was your evaluation on Sunday night as far as like that's concerned, as far as making competitive catches, making a big play?
Well, me being a big play receiver, that's kind of been my trademark since I was in high school. So I'm just trying to build off of that and just keep improving each and every day, make more plays as I'm here.
When you say trademark, do you mean like those weird catches in traffic, or securing the ball, getting hit when you right as you catch it?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Just when the ball comes my way, just go make a play on it, and if it happens to be in traffic or me taking a hit while making the catch, then that's what it is.
It does seem like there's already been in the first 2 games some catches where you've had to make some interesting adjustments, with the ball in the air based on people around you. In the first game, I think on the 2-minute drive, you really hit hard when you caught it. Do you remember that one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is that something like? Is that just kind of happening organically, naturally, without thinking about it, or are you?
Just when the ball comes my way, my thought process is, like I said, not many opportunities going to come, so just making the most of it. And ball comes away, you're supposed to make a play on it. So that's all I'm doing right now.
Stuff I can always get better at, so just keep working those.
What's like when you're doing that with your hands or whatever? Like, what's the biggest area of that? Like, is it speed? Is it like power? Like, where is it? Like, you need to fix that up?
Definitely power right now. I'm trying to work on power rushers. Really, kind of what we're being taught is kind of take away the inside moves and power rush, and then making them come to you, and then if you take away their power, they're gonna have to go around you. So not giving them like a 3-way go, and just making them having you to like go around.
And I know last year was like mental reps in your learning, but how beneficial is it to like go on the field, do something, see what you're doing right, see what you're doing wrong, and then actually being able to like rep it the next day? And
yeah, it's definitely good to come out here every day and kind of put yourself through practice and kind of evaluating yourself every day in the film room and making little corrections of what I can do better, what I did good, little things like that, and come back the next day and really work on it.
Where do you feel like you're at, like self-evaluation wise?
Good. There's definitely some spots I can clean up to be even better. So.
How beneficial has it been playing next to James?
Good. He's a great guy to play next to. I mean, he's a smart guy. He knows what's going on almost before it even happens. So it's nice to have him out there, and he's almost kind of like an on-field coach at some points because he knows all. He's a very smart guy.
What were your impressions of Khalil Mack and Bosa. I mean, those are two of the
Yeah.
elite guys in the league.
Yeah, it's definitely good to go against two guys like that for sure, to kind of see who some of the guys are in the league. So going against them was huge, and kind of, you're getting the best of the best. So it's good to kind of see where you're at and what you need to do to, improve and go against those guys.
Was there any particular learning lessons to take from that? That's veteran guys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, that's kind of every guy you go against, you kind of learn stuff about yourself and about them. So, yeah, there's some things for sure.
What was your self-review of that? We asked you how you felt you did in the game, but how did you feel like you did in those LA practices?
I thought it was pretty good. The first day was a little shaky for sure. Second day, I feel like I came out there and did a little bit better and improved on what I did bad the first day, and kind of really focused in on that and tried to correct it. And then, yeah.
The running play in the Sunday game, everybody saw that the guy ended up hitting the back for the loss. What in particular on that should you have done better, if anything?
Yeah, I was my fundamentals were probably sloppy. My feet were too slow, and I was overshooting it almost too much, and he made the inside move. I just need to be a little bit more tighter footwork and drive through the guy and not go around.
So like when you said earlier about letting him come to you sometimes, is that
Yeah,
something
that's a little different, but more just be aggressive on an angle and work towards him, not around him almost.